My first musical memories were probably when I was about 6 or 7. I lived in a house with my grandparents and my aunties and uncles, and my auntie used to play a lot of Beatles records. Well, she used to have like the Red album, the Blue album, and I used to creep in her room and listen to as much as I could of that. So I guess that's where a lot of it started. But my mum used to listen to a lot of soul music, like Sam and Dave and Stax Soul. So I got started on that, I guess. But I didn't really know what it was because I was so young. But that's the music that got me started as a young kid. The first music that done anything really for me as I got a little bit older was things like when I first got my hands on Revolver by the Beatles again, you know, Revolver changed everything. When I first heard them fizzy guitars and the bass sound, Paul McCartney's bass sound, I was just addicted, you know, apart from the melodies. But just a little bit before that, when I was a little bit younger, Buddy Holly was a massive influence, because at school we all got given a record that was free with a newspaper or something. They obviously got given loads that they didn't want, so they gave us all these rock and roll records, which most kids didn't like, but I took mine home and I was obsessed with it. It was like Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and you know, all them sort of ones. But Buddy Holly was the one that stuck in my head, and I managed to get a little tape, and that was it. And I used to sort of listen to that every single day and sing along with that. But then, as I said, I went on to Revolver, which woke me up, musically woke me up. And then, obviously, I went on to things such as Pet Sounds and things like that. Okay. I first started writing songs, I think I was about 16. I'd just finished school, and my nan had bought me a guitar when I was younger, which I probably didn't touch that much through school. And then the day I left school with rubbish grades and all that, I picked it up from under the bed, and I just could remember. I can't remember learning. I just seemed to know what I was doing. So that was it really. I immediately started trying to write songs, and listening to things like Revolver and The Doors as well. The Doors is an early one. I don't know, I was writing as much as I could, but I wasn't very good. I was just trying to get it out of my system. But I started about 16, 17, and then I started getting a little bit better. I can't remember. The first song I ever wrote, I think it's called Open Up Your Eyes. And that was embarrassing. But I think I've got a little bit better since. Inspiration wise, I get a lot of my ideas or anything from the weather, believe it or not. Seasons, winter, you know, autumn. Autumn always makes me write, and street signs, just walking down the street, looking out the window, you know. I wrote Rear Window, that song, B-side of Everyday Heroes, just literally in the little room I was in, looking out, and it was obviously a Hitchcock sort of idea, because I could see into everyone's window out the back. Saw loads of different lives going on, so I just copied, you know, the same sort of storyline. But you know, newspapers, books. I used to go in the libraries when I was younger and just look at the spines, and so many titles of different books used to just inspire me to write, and I still do that, I guess. Favourite singers are Well, there's so many, but probably Gladys Knight. She has the most beautiful, beautiful raw voice, which every time I listen to her, it's just amazing. Um, I guess Steve Marriott from the Small Faces. He's got the most amazing white soul voice. I don't think I've ever heard anyone come close to his pureness. That's definitely one of my favourite singers of all time. God bless him. Who else? Probably. Well, there's not really for singing voice. I mean, John Lennon's voice. It wasn't really. I wouldn't call him a singer, but just the sound, the tone, and the texture of his voice always seemed to do it for me. You know, when you listen to things like In My Life or Julia, it's just amazing. That's what I think is good. You know, the texture, and you don't have to be the best singer in the world. The Moons are all about being true and pure. That's what I think anyway. I like to think that our songs are just pure melody, and we don't lie. We just be what we want to be, and I hope that rubs off on other people. You know, there are obviously a lot of catchy songs, and I tend to write like that. Maybe that's the influences I've got shining through, but I just want people to connect with us. That's probably the only thing I can say, really. It's simple. The music speaks for everything. It's hard to describe the Moon's sound, because we don't write to sort of have to explain, because that's down to the listener, but again, it's all about pure melody, just purest music, like influences like the Lars and that's a great example of pure roots. That's what it's all about. It's just you have to listen and make your own mind up of what we sound like, but we're just an explosion of melody. That's probably the best way of saying it. The future for the Moons, I'd say, is still to be written at the moment, but we're doing our second album with Edwyn Collins at the moment, and we're doing that in his studio, West Heath Studios, which is beautiful, and it's got a great 1969 desk, which we all love. It looks like a space station or something like that. So he's producing that. We want 14 songs on the album. One of them is English Summer. That's all I'm going to tell you. And as you know, that's on YouTube, a demo of that at the moment, but the new version is so much better. In fact, the whole new album is better than the first. It's James Bagshaw, our guitarist, is writing now as well, so he's putting a new slant on it all, and it's just great, you know. And I'm singing a couple of his songs on there, and it's just going to have a different spin. And after the album's done, we want to obviously just gig all over, everywhere. The UK, we're going to tour straight away probably, and we're just going to play as much as we can. So come and check that out. We've got we'll have a single out before the album, and that's it really. We're just we ain't gonna stop working. So just make sure you get your hands on the album when it's out, if you know what I mean. Yeah, nice one.